Who else got
Amanda.
here?
That's what's up.
Well, moving on to the next thing, we're gonna talk about trends: the good, the bad, and the ugly. Yes.
About trends.
I don't know nothing about no trends. I'd be late. I'd be late to the party.
Well, when you say trends like what? What's an example?
Like the latest
What's trendy
going
right
around
now?
on social media.
What's trendy right now is toxicity.
Yes,
That's trendy.
yes.
I didn't even know
Positivity
that.
is trendy.
The thing
What's-
with trending is like trendy things. Like right now, everything is, in my opinion, self-care. That's a new trend. And I think with these trends, because people are like now clout chasing, you know, everybody's is a self-care coach, and I think they dilute the process when things become super trendy. It dilutes the actuality of what that thing is. People start, like I said, clout chasing for it, and so like everything is self-care, or everything is toxic. You know what I'm saying? Like it just, you know, I don't know. That's my thought about trendy things.
I feel like
Excuse me.
trigger words like anxiety, depression, mental health, although it's very serious and it's very important, you have people who are self-diagnosing and they have not gotten a clinical opinion or diagnosis, but they will tell you they have anxiety and depression. And I even saw a shirt that's like, "Don't talk to me, I have anxiety." Just finding like weird, trendy ways to be a part of it. It's like, even if things are negative, people still have a desire to be a part of it. They also want to say that they're suffering from anxiety, they're suffering from these things, which could be real. But a lot of people aren't seeking the resources for help, for one, and to get the proper diagnosis if that's what it is. I think it's just trendy to say you have anxiety, or you're dealing with XYZ, or that you have toxic traits that you're not willing to fix. You just want to talk about them. So I feel like wherever the culture goes, that's where people follow, even if it don't fit.
It's the same thing. Remember in high school when all the girls had sickle cell? You're like, wait a minute, how do everybody got sickle cell? You know, and
It was anemia, because that's why I was eating ice.
Yeah, right. like everybody, how do you know that? But it was like a cute thing for girls to say they had, you know?
That's what I'm saying. Like wherever the culture is going, people
Why is it
don't
cute
think
these
about it, they just follow it.
But I feel like someone that's really anxious to broadcast that, and just kind of tell people, "Oh, this is what I have, this is what I have," then you're not healing from it. You're not recognizing what it is, and it's not a real impact. Because if that's something that you truly go through every day and you have a struggle with that, you're not so quick to just broadcast and kind of put that on yourself and let everybody know.
That's a good point, because like I've been clinically diagnosed for depression and anxiety, and yeah, no, you're not so free to like, ooh, look at me. Like that's
Yeah.
literally the last thing you want is that kind of attention. But the way people be screaming for this attention, I'm just like, yo, that's maybe you got the new kind. But I mean, I know it all looks different for everybody, and I have to respect that. But just dealing with it, it's wild for me to see it, like everybody broadcasting, like, "Oh, look at me doing a dance about it." You know, I'm like, wow, okay.
Do you think it's because it's more talked about and it's becoming more understood that people feel like maybe they're getting a break if they say that they have these things or have these problems? So like before, you couldn't really go to HR or some place at your job and say that you're dealing with anxiety and depression and it be taken seriously. But now with the stigmatism and all of the information out about mental health and just how everybody's advocates for mental health, that it made society very sensitive. And I feel like maybe people are using that sensitivity to say that they have whatever.
Right. I mean, this is a very touchy subject, but because you don't want to minimize anybody's struggle, so it's tough. But just from people I know, like I know who kind of like use it as a way for attention. Like people are using this for attention. Like it's crazy. Like I'm unique. Like, everybody's striving to be unique. So everybody's striving to say they have a illness and they're overcoming it to show like they're above reproach or whatever. Um, it's a sick thing. But again, if you are struggling with it, reach out to someone and get some help. It's free.
Green, what do you think?
I was gonna say, you don't want to over. It's kind of hard to put into words what I'm thinking right now. I'm sorry, but you
That's
don't
okay.
want
Take your time.
to, huh?
Take your time.
Like you don't want to undermine anyone, but at the same time, you know that there are people out here that will try to take advantage of systems
Right.
to get that kind of attention or whatever the case may be.
Right.
So you got to just be very careful. Just very careful with the situation and with the people when handling situations like this.
Yeah, and I think about Charlamagne the God on Breakfast Club. He's written a book about it, and he talks about it all the time. He's like the current advocate for it. But it's crazy. I listen to the show, and people call in. I remember several times of people saying stuff like, I feel like this, da 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 da, and he just will make a joke about it, or he'll laugh it off and be like, man, it's just crazy. And I'm like, damn, but somebody who's advocating for mental health, you should be using that language. Like it was wild, and I'm just like, does anybody else see this? Like, does anybody notice this?
Yeah.
People just get away with it as being that's who they are. So like I guess a lot of people just they hear him say that and okay, that's just Charlamagne the God, that's who he is. But at the same time, you're right. You shouldn't. This person might take that shit serious.
If you've written a book about it,
especially when you're on the radio, we got an audience of millions, so everybody hears this and they see this or whatever the case may be. So yeah, you got to watch what you say. Right. Like that, definitely.
I think people are in some competition to be self-actualized. They want to be the one that's grown, the one that has, you know what I mean? Like he's saying, like there is no triumph without the trial. And sometimes people will curate their own problem to overcome it. And I feel like there are these times where if you tell someone, oh, well, it also, they use it as justification for their poor behavior. I'm acting like this because I'm having a moment with my depression. And it's like, okay, so what did your therapist or what did your doctor say to do? Oh, I didn't go, or I don't have one, but just based on the things I read. And the things that they read, they aren't articles, it's the timeline. It's looking at trendy tweets, it's memes. It's those type of things that people gravitate to and go like, yeah, that's me. If they read a Cancer does this, a Pisces does this, they gravitate to it because they find a likeness that they like, and so with the whole mental health, and it's sensitive because there are people struggling on a day-to-day basis. Anthony, you say you're dealing with that on a day-to-day basis, and you can't really see how people are kind of making a mockery of it to get that clout or to get that sympathy. Irv, what do you think?
I was hoping y'all wouldn't come to me. This is definitely not a topic I'm familiar with. I'm sorry.
You don't have an opinion on mental health?
It's just like, I mean, like I guess kind of like the same thing I hear about it. It's honestly one of those things where I don't feel how it affects me, and I don't know anybody personally who it affects. So I kind of one of those things I kind of just floss.
You have some over. Cognitive dissonance. Understood.
Yeah. So
Brenda.
Yeah, I agree with what you were just saying, and there's a name for that. The people that read things, or if they hear that I felt this way, or I don't feel good, this is a trait of having a cold or a flu or whatever it is, they self-diagnose, and then their mind begins to like have their body feel like, okay, this is what it is. And there's people like their mind really gravitate to that. And the mind is a very powerful thing, regardless if you're suffering with that or not, what you tell yourself and what you're comfortable with allowing, that's how you will feel on a day-to-day basis. And that may not be your mindset or your path. So we really have to be careful. But I feel like if you know someone or you know traits of, I'm not gonna say human beings, but you know like traits of people, you can tell it's not something to brag about. It's not something to use as a crutch, because people that suffering, they want to overcome it. Like they want to deal with it in private, or let me talk to a therapist. They're not gonna be so proud to say it. That's in my opinion. You know, like people have changed. The new generation, you know, they might just be like, this is what I am, and I'm okay with it. I want everyone to know, and that's okay with me if that's their path.